Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Wise Guys podcast. My name is Lenny.
And I'm Matt, and today we are going to be talking about our favorite Proverbs, part two.
All right, Matt, what if you could only give a couple of proverbs, three proverbs to your son or daughter? What would that be?
Okay. No, I got it. What if you had amnesia and to remember anything you had to tattoo it on your body? So you only had like three or four spaces, your two arms or two legs, and then you could only tattoo verses from Proverbs. What would they be?
What a ridiculous situation. Uh, Hold on. What if you had to give a TED talk and you could only give three proverbs and that's the only three things that you could say?
And how many people are in the audience?
Like 1,000 people.
Okay. How about 1,000,000?
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. So I guess that's our intro. We're continuing our talk from last time. We did, I think, how much did we do? Like two proverbs last time. So
Yeah, two each. Yeah.
two each. Okay, so we're going for three today. I think last time I went first, so you go first this time.
All right, sounds good. Well, I really like this proverb. Proverbs 16:9. It says the
No
heart
way.
of a
That's literally
No way. Are you
that's
serious?
literally number three. We
Okay.
didn't talk before this.
We never
We did not talk
Okay.
before this.
It's purely
That's
coincidental.
okay.
Anyways.
Wow.
Well, I guess we'll just do three then. The heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. You know what? Why don't you talk about it since it's the same?
Okay, so you're now throwing the ball back to me.
I'm throwing it back to you.
Okay. Well, let me ask you. Let me throw it back at you first.
Okay.
Why
All right.
why would you tattoo this on your body?
I like this game of dodgeball. I feel like we talk a lot about decision making and how we, want to live wisely. But this verse, I think, is a good reminder for me that as much as I can plan for the future, I'm not able to fully, 100% confirm the outcome of these
Yeah.
decisions. And but that's the only thing I can do. I can just plan for it and trust in the Lord and depend in God for Him to pull through for me, basically. How about you?
Yeah.
How about you? Why did you?
Yeah.
Why would you tattoo this on your body?
I would tattoo this on my body and give a TED talk about it in front of 1,000,000 people because I think you're like this too, but I'm quite a planner. I actually struggle with wanting to kind of know everything ahead of time. Like, where am I going? What am I doing? And it gives me anxiety if I don't. Like, if I
Mm.
don't know, if I don't have certainty on a situation, job, relationships, family, etc., it gives me anxiety, and I struggle with that. And there are a lot of verses in the Bible that have helped me with anxiety, like Philippians 4:6-7.
Yeah.
And but this is also one of them in terms of me thinking that me overthinking, right? Like, just I have lots of thoughts that run through my head all the time, and what about this? What about did I think about this? What if this happens?
Yeah.
And like you said, this one just reminds me that ultimately I do have a role in making plans with my mind and to the best of my ability, but ultimately it's the Lord who will direct my steps. And it recalls a verse we talked about last time, right, where it says that He will make your paths straight. A similar concept where He will guide and direct our steps in the way that He wants us to go, and ultimately that He is sovereign. And we always say, like, if the Lord wills, then I will do this or that, and like, Lord
Yeah.
willing, this will happen. And so that's really reassuring for me.
Yeah. I'm just reminded about this verse because Mei Wen was like recently planting and gardening. She's been getting into this a lot. And as much as she can, like, she came to me the other day, she told me, she's like, as much as I can plan and plant the seed and water the seed and give it the proper sunlight and the right soil and perfect the environment, I can do all those things, but I cannot grow the plant. Like that is
Mm,
something that God does. And there's like in the same way, like we can plan and do all these things, but ultimately God is the one who like what it says here establishes our steps or directs our steps. And
yeah.
he literally allows us to step, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that brings us comfort, right? Knowing that it's ultimately because if it wasn't like that and we had to make the plant grow and it just we
That'd be
had to be
crazy.
responsible for every aspect of our lives, then we would just be
Crazy.
shattered because it would just I would make so many mistakes and I would just feel so
Yeah.
bad. I can't pick up the pieces and make my path straight. I just can't.
Yeah.
So this is very reassuring.
Matt,
Okay.
share with us another verse that you
Okay.
picked.
Number
Hopefully, it's
two.
not the one that I picked.
Okay. There is no way that you possibly this showed up on your list. Okay.
Out of all the verses in Proverbs.
Yeah. So this is one that I would give to my future son or daughter.
Okay.
Proverbs
Okay.
18:13 says,
Okay.
"He
I
who
didn't
gives
pick
an
that one.
answer." Okay, good. It says, "He who gives an answer before he hears, it is folly and shame to him." This is just a
Mm,
very practical one. It reminds me of one of the 7 habits of highly effective people, which is to seek first to understand and then to be understood.
mm,
Because I struggle a lot with this. Like when I'm just talking to people, I don't always give them a chance to finish what they're saying before jumping in and speaking. And that's just a very, I think it's something that I have to constantly remind myself to always
mm.
listen first, let them finish talking, and then I give my response. And then also, I
Yeah.
think this especially, I think it's also applicable to when somebody is telling you you're hearing one side of the story from someone. Maybe there's a conflict. You're hearing one side. You want to listen to both sides of the story. You want to hear both sides and weigh both sides before making any judgment or saying anything. I think that's also a
Yeah.
really important thing in terms of wisdom and not. I mean, it's used pretty strong language, folly and shame. In terms of if you're too hasty, you just talk before hearing the other side.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely a very stern warning. And if you are, ever in a counseling situation where your friend is ranting to you or
Mm,
your family member is telling you what happened during the day, this is a good reminder for us to just listen carefully and let them finish before we, jump the gun and give them advice that wasn't warranted or even wrong.
yeah, yeah. Would Maywen say that you're a good listener?
I think she's a better listener than me. It's a work in
That's
progress.
a good answer. That's a good answer. All right. For number 3, Lenny, you do the honors.
All right. I picked Proverbs 12:18. It says, "There is one whose rash words are like sword thrusts, but the tongue of the wise brings healing." And if
Wow.
you read Proverbs, there's a lot of Proverbs about how words can build up and words can break down. And really, what we say can have a tremendous effect, positive or negative, on the people around us and even ourselves. But the reason why I picked this one is because it has just, very clear imagery about what bad words can do, which is sword thrusting into other people or
Yeah.
yourself. Or the positive, which is the words of the wise can bring healing. And I think these two
Mm,
extremes are something that I want to keep in mind where, just helps guide what I say to other people and even in my own thought life.
yeah. Proverbs does that a lot where it contrasts to opposite sides with very vivid imagery. I really like
Yeah.
the sword thrusting analogy versus the healing that you can bring to people. I mean, have you
Yeah.
ever experienced, I'm sure you have, but have you ever experienced somebody saying something to you that felt like a healing ointment?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, my wife, she says a lot of things that help support and encourage me.
Yeah, there we
And
go.
then on the flip side, I've said a lot of things where it felt like I was digging my own grave. And
Hmm.
in Japanese culture, in the samurai culture, when
Uh
this
oh.
they
Okay.
they commit, I think it's
Okay.
called
Yeah.
seppuku or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry
Yeah,
for our Japanese listeners. for butchering the pronunciation of that.
But it's literally a sword thrust for
Mm,
yourself. And
yeah.
like, that's what I think of.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's a good point. You can even inflict wounds on other people. You can inflict wounds on yourself. You can kind of dig yourself into a hole. In the book of James, it talks about the tongue being like this fire that can cause destruction, and
Yeah.
that our words have a lot of power. But I really like how this proverb reminds us that it has also power for good, to build up, to edify. Yeah, and I can remember a lot of both cases of that, where people have really encouraged me, including you, Lenny,
Oh, thank you.
um,
You as well.
and just encouraged me and given me strength to kind of keep going. And yeah, I think it's a lot of the ones that we talked today are about very practical advice, right? Just how
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
think about things, how to talk to people, how to not talk, when to listen. That's what I love about Proverbs. It's that we just picked a list of two or three, and we could have gone on, and maybe we'll do a part three, because I still
Yeah.
have
Maybe.
like 4 or 5 of these that just
Yeah.
seem impactful to us. I think any one of these is worthy of either giving a TED talk in front of millions of people, or tattooing, or handing down to our children. So we'd love to hear from you guys listening out there. What are the 3 proverbs that you would, if you were stranded on an island and you only had 3 scraps of paper, only take these 3 reminders, what would it be?
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'd love to hear from you. Our Instagram and Twitter are down below, but it's the Wise Guys Podcast and the Wise Guys Pod. And comment down below your favorite proverb. What has been the most insightful for you and why? And we just love to engage with you. Thanks for tuning in, and it was a great conversation, Matt.
You too. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.